Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them. I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also posted a link to the DC fan site for this particular story with plot synopsis and character bios. So, we are going to be looking at Cosmic Odyssey number 2 from 1988, written by Jim Starlin, famous for his Infinity Gauntlet, and art by, of course, my Mignola. Some people say Mignola. I say Mignola. So, um, this is his art as it is evolving into his current style. Believe it or not, this is my favorite version of my Mignola. I know people love his Hellboy stuff, but right before Hellboy, which is around this period, is my Mignola sweet spot. So we got this great cover of Superman and Orion fighting the Thanagarians, who all happen to be dressed like Hawkmen. Of course, Hawkman is from Thanagar. So I have already covered issue number 1. Feel free to check out the JLA oh my goodness, playlist. Oh, if you would like to see it. So, here we go. Thanagar. And we got all the Hawk people flying around. And Superman tells Orion, "Here they come. What kind of reception do you figure we'll get?" "A hostile one, Superman. Thanagarians are universally known for their belligerent attitudes, which is actually quite funny coming from Orion." So, if I were the anti-life aspects, the first thing I'd do is take mental control of all Thanagarians and use them as my frontal line of defense. And Superman says, "Do you think the aspect has the power to do something like that?" And Orion answers to Superman, "Possibly. We're dealing with a being that has the power to decimate our entire universe. When you can do something like that, what's a little mind control?" Real quick, the lettering is by John Workman, my favorite letterer. He is Walt Simonson's letterer. I have a playlist for Walt Simonson's Thor run. Feel free to check that out if you so wish. John Workman's letters are exquisite. Um, so Superman continues here. "Well, I guess we're about to find out if you're right or not." And so here they come. "There's your answer," says Orion. "Amazing. How did you know?" asks Superman. "I've got this feeling for the dark side of things." So, great splash page. And so, Superman is going to um, attack and kind of dispose. Most of Starlin's writing is done in first person, second person type things, but most of the time he uses first person. So, the first issue was a little long, so I'm kind of trying to make sure that I try to keep it shorter than 30 minutes because the other one blew like 40 minutes. So, all right, here comes Orion, and this is all being narrated by Orion himself here. So, and he's also dispatching some of these. Now, are they going to fall to their deaths? I don't know. Doesn't look like they fell very often, but the Thanagarians are now going to run away. So Superman says, "Well, that put them on the run." And Orion says, "Only temporary. They'll be back soon with friends. They're not going to make it easy on us." And so, but we've got to remember the Thanagarians are apparently under the mental domination of the anti-life aspect. These people are not really the enemy. Let's moderate our use of force against them. And Orion just stares at Superman. I'll call I'll call in our findings on the interstellar comlink. Good idea, says Superman. So now we're in Exanshi, another planet, and we've got Green Lantern John Stewart with the Martian Manhunter, John Jones. So, good sized planet, says Green Lantern. How do you propose we track down this anti-life, or sorry, this planet's anti-life aspect, John Stewart? So maybe we'll get it. We'll get a line on it here in town, Johns. Anything as powerful as this critter has got to leave tracks. So nice vertical panel here. By the heavens, says Johns. Looks like we've stumbled upon some type of intergalactic epidemic. And so you see the him holding this child. My power ring analyzes. It's a powerful airborne communicable virus that attacks both the respiratory and blood system simultaneously. It's a killer. And probably the aspect's doing, says John. Poor thing. This is a mother losing her baby here. If only we could do something to help these poor wretches. But our time, we've got enough. We've got enough. We got enough of it to play Florence Nightingale. So Florence Nightingale was, she was a nurse, back in the 1800s, and she's kind of the one that uh, got things going in the right way. Prior to that, going to the doctor was you might as well take your chances with the virus and with diseases. So she's the one that got things going. So all right. And so this person says, "Can you really help us? I've been trying to find the antidote, but time is so short and my experiments. Fuzzy, come over here and give me that. Hold it right there. I may not be able to create an effective antidote from thin air with my rings, but I can initiate some pretty unusual chemical reactions. There's one sip of this magic elixir and you'll be back on your feet in no time flat. You'll be able to cure the multitudes with transfusion of your bloods after this. Good thing my ring didn't sleep through biology. How can we ever thank you? By promptly paying the bill when it arrives in the mail." So off they go. This is truly a marvelous device, your ring. Well, let's see if it can point the way to where the anti-life aspects hiding out. And so you can see them flying through. Figure unplugging into this world's computer system is one way of tackling the problem. I'll start with the power company. Bullseye, on the first shot, he says. What did you find out? Asks John Jones. That we've got a bit of a problem on our hands. The computer shows that this plague has knocked out all activity on the planet. None of the big electrical power users are tapping much offline, but one place in particular is using 10 times the juice it usually does. Where? Asked the Martian Manhunter. A weather control station in the Arctic. That's got to be where the aspects hold up. Then let us not run off half-cocked. There's more to the story. It shows here that some radical modifications have been made on this station over the last week or so. Such as, asked the Martian Manhunter, this station's overridden the command systems of all other weather control centers and has extended its operations 250 kilometers into the planet's core. Seismographic controls? Asks Johns. That'd be my guess. Then that means we're about to face the unbridled power of a sentient and hostile world. Love this, how the eyes are shaded. We had best report this development back to New Genesis. Do it on the way, says Green Lantern. And so now we're on Earth and we're about to have Batman here. And he is, is it Ravager? I'm sure we'll get to his name. Oh, Forager. I was going to say Ravager. So Love Mignola's Batman here in this Batcave. So Batman talks to Forager here. The one called Orion didn't seem to care for you much, Forager. That's putting it mildly, he replies. You see, Batman, I was born of New Genesis and am a new god, but I was raised amongst a deviant race, a life form called the Insect Legion. For some reason, Orion hates these people, calls them bugs. It's a pretty common prejudice on New Genesis. But with Orion, it runs deeper. He loathes anything connected with the Insect Legion, myself included. Seems like a stupid attitude to me, says Batman. No one's ever accused Orion of being a paragon of logical thought. You could use some improvements yourself, he says, Batman. If we're to work together, we'll have to make some changes. What do you mean? I do my best work at night. That red and white costume has got to go. No problem. But how are we going to find the anti-life aspect? Love this. I mean, you can just see modern day Mignola just being, you know, it's gorgeous. He is so good. I love his boxy work. Like I said, the period between the late 80s and early 90s Mignola is my favorite. His style now is super boxy. He's even gotten even more simple than that. At least back then, he used to be a little bit more complicated, but now the dude is even more. So, all right. So Batman continues. I'm letting the other teams do the initial footwork for us. Establish the aspects method of operation. All their reports have been relayed directly into my computer's memory banks for collation. It's already become clear that the aspect is exploiting the most powerful force on all the targeted planets to gain its desired end. Seizing controls of Thanagar's warlike race and Xanadis's weather control stations were brilliant moves. That means it's probably going to try to gain control of your world's nuclear arsenal. And Batman says, I don't think so. But what do you have on this planet that's more powerful than your atomic bombs and missiles? You're standing in front of it. And Forager says, a computer and all its interconnected databases. So keep in mind, this is the late 80s. By the way, great use of screen tones up here. And networks were already formed. Unbelievable. Sometimes we think all this stuff just was created overnight, but in the 80s, we already had networks and data networks on Earth. So, all right, so now we're in the planet Ron here. Where are we headed? Where are we heading, Light Ray? Says Starfire. To Renegard, the world's capital. John Jones told me of a man who lives here who might help us get a lead on the aspect's whereabouts. He's an expatriated Earthman. So, looks like some buildings burning up ahead. Let's check it out, says Starfire. So, again, we're not going to read some of this stuff up here. So Starfire says, what have we barged in on? A civil war? I don't think so, says Light Ray. And you can see the Rons are kind of killing themselves again. Look at the screen tones here. No, the violence is too unfocused, too random. This is not a battle. Everyone seems bent on killing everyone else. No, there are no sides. It's as if they're all in the grip of some. And then Starfire goes, Light Ray above you. And this gentleman jumps down and Light Ray catches him. He's like, take it easy, friend. I got you. And then he punches him and then continues falling to his death. So that man, he wanted to fall to die. Yes, madness, says Light Ray. The structure looks like it might be a Capitol building. Perhaps we'll gain some clarity on this situation where we're going. And so they arrive here. The Elder Gods smile on us, Starfire. Someone's home. Even though he's armed and angry. This man has the light of sanity in his eyes. Who might you be? Says Adam Strange. I'm Light Ray. This is my companion, Starfire. And unless I miss my guess, your name is Adam Strange. Are you responsible for what's happening on Ron? No. What I know, but I know what is. It's a long story, and so apparently some they explain it between this panel and this wall, and that's how we came upon you. How long has this situation been going on? And so Adam Strange says it started last night. I guess it was my alien nature that spared me from this plague of madness. It wasn't easy subduing Alana and her father Sardath when the insanity hit. Unfortunately, I can't do the same for everyone else on Ron, and the only way to save your adopted world is to locate and capture the anti-life aspect. I really like Adam Strange's little outfit. It's I don't know, so cool, so 50s, true Silver Age stuff here. From what you've told me about how this all right, sorry, let me restart. From what you've told me about how this being operates on other planets, my educated guess is that we'll find it at Peltex 5. That's a fully automated manufacturing center just outside Ranagar. No humans work there, only robot maintenance crews. Look at Starfire. Kind of. No need for this. Like, she could just, but she's like all being sexy here. Alana and Sardath will be safe locked in our apartment. Let's go. So now we're back on New Genesis here. And so we have the demon here and Jason Blood here. And so Jason Blood says, I'm sorry, Highfather. I just can't accept what you say. Love Darkseid, just so menacing and brooding. All that we've told you is true, Jason Blood. If you do not reunite your soul with the demon Etrigan, the universe may be doomed. I've checked and double-checked Darkseid's calculations. His findings are sound. You have no idea what you're asking me to do. I've already spent dozens of lifetimes coupled with foul Etrigan. You can't imagine what it's like sharing your life with a demon. Etrigan's a soulless, base degenerate. His is a world of blood, pain, and sorrow. The happiest day of my long life was when I was at last separated from that hideous abomination. I don't even care that now that I'm on my own, the years are catching up to me at an accelerated rate. Yes, I will soon die, I know this, but I will pass from this world a man, untainted by demonic stench. I love his fist, like, just throwing at them. Darkseid just watches. No, I'll not have anything to do with this malignant entity ever again. There's nothing you can do to force me into once again bonding with this devil. You realize your decision endangers the entire universe. Your superheroes will save the day, says Jason Blood. And so Highfather continues, perhaps not. Darkseid's findings suggest that even if the aspects are stopped, the anti-life entity may still be triumphant. Again, Darkseid just sits there brooding. What do you mean? Asks Jason Blood. And so Darkseid speaks. The barrier between our reality and the anti-life entity has been weakened by Metron's careless trespass. My monitoring probes show that the entity is seeking to breach the barrier from its side of it, even as we speak. And so Highfather says the barrier must be reinforced, but even Darkseid and my own vast powers are not enough to accomplish such a Herculean task. But a revitalized Etrigan is a truly elemental being. He is connected to and one with limitless resources of pure nature. Love this panel here with Darkseid's eyes. Mine is the power to tap into this power reservoir through Etrigan, but he must be whole for me to do this. Your reunion is the only way we can assure the universe's safety, says Highfather. And so we all have silently here. And Jason Blood, seeing a poor, pitiful Etrigan, finally gives in. Pussy. Very well, I'll do it, he kind of whispers here. So, back to Superman and Orion in Thanagar. So, here come all the Hawk warriors again. They're breaking to regroup, says Orion. Which way? In the direction they came from. That's where we'll find the anti-life aspect. So now we're in, is it Xanshi? So that weather station has certainly created a fine mess for us to fly through, says the Martian Manhunter. Merely a delaying tactic. So one that won't do the anti-life aspect much good, I might add. It's obviously severely underestimated our power, says Green Lantern. And here's a tornado. I love the way it's drawn, just, and then the color kind of gives it the form. Very clever. Perhaps, or it may be only taking its time about dealing with us. Look, screams Martian Manhunter. That's Lamos sent a hurricane after us? You've got to be kidding, says Green Lantern. By the way, that's not a hurricane, that's a tornado, but I forgive him. That funnel ain't any good if it doesn't hit its intended target, and with our speed, it's no problem to detour around it. And so, lightning misses him but hits Martian Manhunter. This sucker just missed me by a hair. And then he screams at John. Uses his ring to catch him. You okay? I'll live, but unfortunately, the anti-life catcher didn't fare as well. I fear its destruction was the aspect's true goal. And so Green Lantern says, no problem, man. This isn't quite the... I don't know why Jim Starlin wrote this Green Lantern as more out of character. I think this would have been better if he would have used Green Lantern, is it Guy Gardner? Because that's how he sort of is behaving. Maybe not nearly as jerkish, but it does, because John Jones was in the Marines. He's more military. He's just like no problem, man. No, he just doesn't behave this way. But and I know that he wanted to most likely bring more characters of color, but perhaps he could have done so by using a different character or somebody else. And then, because it just, he does seem out of character. But, anyway. Really, just what do you plan to use when we come face to face with the aspect? My power ring had a chance to analyze that device earlier. So, making a new catcher is a snap for this little gem. And so, you can see he creates one. Outstanding, says Martian Manhunter. So I keep forgetting that these things are like double size. So, all right. So we'll kind of move in here. So I think our best bet is to go the rest of the way inside this protective cube. You'll get no argument on that idea, John Stewart. I don't know why he keeps calling him John Stewart like that. So back on Earth here, Forger is wearing a darker costume here. So. And here's Alfred. I have outfitted Mr. Forger according to your instructions, Master Batman. Thank you, Alfred. How are you doing? Asked Forger. I've discovered that the anti-life aspects were about. It wasn't hard, says Batman. I simply accessed the computer records of all the big scientific supply houses looking for large orders of exotic equipments. Found what I was looking for a little while ago. Several good-sized orders have been shipped out in the last week to Moose Jaw, Arizona, of all places, says Batman. But the interesting thing is that the receiver of all these high-tech goodies is one Joe Bester, and love the screen tones here, kind of being used. Who is he? Says Forger. A Gotham City policeman who died last week. Beautiful panel here. Back on Ron here. And so they ask, hey, do you have any idea where we should go looking? And Adam Strange says, the loading docks, as he points there. So everything looks pretty normal here. Too normal, he says. It's always like, it looks good. Too good. So Adam goes to take a look and says, records show some equipment was ordered last week, and the order was delivered immediately after production. And Lightray says, ship where? He says, to the basement of this very building. So, all right, so they go to look. Chances are the target's on the other door. You both ready? And Starfire says, ready. And he's like, what is it? A doomsday bomb. I recognize its basic design. When detonated, it will create an even widening field of destructive force. This deadly device is thousands of times more powerful than any of Earth's hydrogen bombs and has only one purpose. And so that was Lightray, by the way. And Adam says, which is to hurl this planet out of orbit and into its sun. Oh, that is the dumbest plan. That includes the stupid that first of the new Star Wars sequels where they needed a weapon that ate an entire star so they could fire it. I mean, for real? You need to consume an entire star? Is it Starkiller base? Yeah, that is when I saw that movie and I saw that thing, I was out. I was like, oh no, this Disney destroyed Star Wars. If you're a fan of the sequels, all right. I hated it. Those ideas just didn't work. It has nothing to do with the characters that were created. It's the stupid story. So, hurling the planet. There's better ways to destroy a planet. So Starfire says, why don't we destroy the bomb? Lightray says, well, he would just build another one. Plus, they don't know exactly how it would work, so they don't want it, to accidentally blow him off. So, they're gonna split up to go find it. So Adam Strange goes in here and just love it. Yuck! So they both go in there and find Adam Strange down. He's still alive though. So Starfire says, it looks like someone rained 1,000 blows on him all at once. So it didn't come out the way we came in. It had a doorway inside at all times. Then it's somewhere down this passage. And so off they go. So they finally reach the end, and they're like, where could the aspects have gone? How could it have escaped this passage without us seeing it? And I don't know, but we've got to find it, of course. You can see here. So we're back to Zanshi here. The power ring tells me we're less than 50 kilometers from the weather station. Why is he using kilometers? I understand, but he's American. He would use miles. Kilometers. The rest of the world is wrong, by the way. It's miles. So, all right. So, now you can see here the Earth is kind of opening up here and destroys Green Lantern's little bubble. So, I should have built the protective block sturdier. I just didn't expect to have to go through the last days of Pompeii with it. And so I feel no effects from the flames. How? Says Martian Manhunter. Of course, he's invulnerable to fire. Aren't we all, though? So I ordered my power ring earlier to protect your person the same way it does mine automatically. It is effective against even something like that. That baby's just small change to my emerald beauty, he says. So, looks like things are gonna get rougher from here on. Sorry, John. Sorry, what do you mean? You may be hot stuff back on Earth, but we're playing an intergalactic game now, and you're way out of your league, pal. We Green Lanterns are trained to deal with this kind of situation. You're not. I'll move a lot faster without having to worry about you. And Martian Manhunter's like, no, wait, you may need that. You may need me. And he's a little arrogant. He's like, I doubt that. And he's like, damn you fool. You arrogant, conceited idiot. You're depending too much on that blasted power ring. So here comes John Jones. He's being very cocky. And off he goes. And so he breaks in, and suddenly his eyes, and realizes that they made it the one color that the ring is immune to, yellow. Now, green is blue and yellow. Why? Yeah, I know. Jeff Johns explained it on his his Green Lantern run, but still. All right. And it tells you here Green Lantern core rings do have one weakness. Because of a minor impurity in the ring's power source's basic structure, they can't affect anything that's colored yellow. So, here's the entire thing. Look, he painted it yellow. That is awesome. So, off it goes. Boom. Boom. And so, here's John Jones, the blind fool, and he's hit by the concussion blast. So, and this is at another city. They know something is wrong. Unfortunately, the planet is about to die. And so, you can see here the vast destruction. I like these parts here because I can just kind of go with it fast without having to. We're just showing destruction here. So you can see here it's just eating this whole planet. So it says here the heart of it is becoming antimatter. It causes a secondary explosion that blows the doomed planet out of its orbit. So why it's already destroyed? I don't get the whole sending it to the sun part, but I guess it's important. So, and there it goes. Oh, it blows up the star. There we go. Okay, that makes sense. Now it destroys that whole system, that whole so the first planet is done. So, and here's Green Lantern John Stewart. All those people, I felt them die. I could hear their screams through my ring, feel their agony. I never dreamt John. And so here comes the Martian Manhunter. Great panel here. He goes, I never. Thanks to your arrogance and stupidity, I have now seen 2 worlds die. I love this panel here. I will never forgive you for this. God, what a great panel. So, Martian Manhunter doesn't want to hear any more of it, so he goes and leaves Green Lantern. So, the Zanji team just raided in. We've lost both the planet and the star. That we can wait no longer to implement our plans, says Darkseid. No, I suppose not. It's just I wanted to give Jason as much time as possible for. And Darkseid goes, already Etrigan and the instrument. You get blood. So, you know, when I reunite with Etrigan, these flowers won't smell the same. I never appreciated their fragrance while I was coupled with them. Our time draws short. We must act now. And he goes, very well. You know, this was never supposed to happen again. If there was any way for me to get out of this, I would opt for it. But I guess fickle destiny has decreed this dark fate to be my lot. How can I fight it? You can't. Your union has been proclaimed by the stars and by Merlin himself. You have become me, have become thee. We are one, Jason Blood. Yes, linked by the fates forever. And they embrace. It's kind of touching here. Um, and boom. And so I live. Let men tremble and the heavens cry out in awe, for Darkseid has freed me from that damnable charm. Etrigan the demon lives again, and may the elder gods forgive us. And look, he's all like, aw, and look at Darkseid just so happy with everything that's happened here. Great panel, absolutely great panel. And so we are now at the end of our issue. So, Cosmic Odyssey #2, Jim Starlin and Mike Mignola. I'm sure somebody else inked it, but it doesn't matter. That's not why we are viewing this here. With the great letter John Workman Jr., who just adds such a touch to this. Anyway, like and subscribe, and I do thank you for listening. Goodbye.